How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Falcon's Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw review video for today. This time for this new episode for the series is going to be my review on the 2022 psychological drama, and that is Tar. Now, this is written and directed by Todd, the man behind Little Children, and this film is set in the international world of Western classical music. And this film centers on this woman named Lydia Tarr, played by Cate Blanchett, who is widely considered one of the greatest living composer-conductors ever, and also the very first female director of a major German orchestra. So that's pretty much the whole plot synopsis I could say for Tar. After I saw the trailer for Tar, I first thought this movie would have been like a biopic, because to me this felt like it would have been a biopic at first sight, but once I did a bit of research to basically learn what this whole movie was about, I immediately found out this isn't really a biopic, because this is technically a fictional psychological drama, but I was still really looking forward to seeing this movie because I've heard a lot of people talking about this movie. Like, it received a lot of praises from a few film festivals and won numerous awards as well, and I was really looking forward to seeing what Cate Blanchett was going to do for this movie, because I'm a fan of Cate Blanchett myself. She's indeed a really great actress, you know, two-time Oscar winner, and no matter what she's in, she always manages to deliver, you know, really great performances. And I didn't know much of the other actors who were in this film other than just Cate Blanchett, but I was still really looking forward to seeing what she was going to do for this movie. And as for the director Todd, I haven't seen much of his films other than just Little Children. That's the only one I'm familiar with and all that. And he hasn't made a movie in a while though, but I was still really intrigued to see what he was going to do for this movie and all that. And this movie was released just a couple months ago in the US, but we didn't get this film until January of this year in the UK. Which this film came out the exact same day as Megan came out in my area, but this didn't play in the cinemas I usually go to all the time, or even at my job or all that. But this came out just a week later, when Babylon came out in my area, which I went to see that film first, and then after that I went back to work, and then I had a few days off after that, and I went to see this when I had a couple of days off work, which I saw this film on a Tuesday, and for my screening, it really wasn't that much of a full house, but there's quite a fair amount of people in my screening that I was in though. But after watching this whole movie, I gotta say here, guys, this movie was indeed absolutely terrific here, and I can also say this is definitely one of my favorite films of 2022 here, you guys. The biggest reason to see this movie is indeed Cate Blanchett's performance as Lydia Tarr. Like, she's just absolutely phenomenal in this movie. Like, she just feels so invisible, yet she's so powerful in this movie, from maintaining her character's energy in the film through the choices that she makes in the film that are either right or wrong, which does kind of question us audiences from where do we side with this character, because after we are introduced this character, and after we learn like how she's considered one of the greatest composers of all time, towards like later down the line in the film, from like where something happens towards her, which does kind of make people think that she's gone crazy and all that. And for what Cate Blanchett did for when it comes to those moments just really blew me away. And like I said, she's just so invisible for those moments, and yet she's so powerful to those moments. And also from moments when we get to see like her personal life outside of her music career, which when it comes to those moments are really fascinating as well. And I could definitely see that Cate Blanchett is definitely a shoo-in for another Oscar win here, because again, she's just so phenomenal in the film. And as for everyone else in the film, they were also really great for the most part. And the direction by Todd was absolutely remarkable, from the cinematography to the editing choices. Like, there are some really great, amazing shots in the film. Like, there's one scene in the film that's like 10 minutes. I don't want to say what the scene is because I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but for that scene was just absolute perfection, from the camera work to the editing as well. It just really blew me away from like how they filmed that scene. And when it comes to moments when we get to see Lydia Tarr practicing music with her students, they were really beautiful, those shots as well in the film. And the music score by the composer who did Joker, which she won an Oscar for that film, which the score for that film I really loved. She once again did a really terrific job with the music with this film, because the music in this movie was just incredible here. And when it comes to the story for the film, it is really fascinating on how this film is being told. And I liked how it throws a few chunks into the film where it does kind of feel what it is. Like, there are times where it does kind of feel like a fictional film, even though this film is technically that. And there are times where it kind of feels like a biopic, even though this isn't really a biopic, because this character isn't really based off a real life person or anything like that. However, there are times in the film where it does kind of feel a little bit confusing and all that. Like, there are some scenes where it does kind of jump into something else, which does kind of feel a bit confusing, and the ending as well kind of feels a little bit confusing and all that, from where it ends up to and all that. But overall, in the end, guys, Todd, like I said, this movie was indeed absolutely terrific. Yeah, and like I said, this is definitely another one of my favorite films of 2022. And like I said, this is definitely one of Cate Blanchett's best performances here. And I can definitely say, and like I said, she's definitely a shoo-in for another Oscar win here. I think she definitely deserves the award here because she's just incredible in the film. And if you're a fan of movies that has something to do like orchestra music, or you're a fan of Cate Blanchett, or you're a fan of movies that relies on heavy dialogue, which this film does do that. If you're a fan of those kind of films, you've definitely enjoyed this one. If you're not a fan of those kind of films, this one might not appeal to you that much. And if you miss a chance to see this in cinemas, this in the US, it is available to watch at home. But for those in the UK, if it is still playing in local cinema near you, I highly suggest check out seeing this one on the big screen for yourself. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Tar. I'm gonna give Tar 4.5 out of 5. Despite having one little flaw with this movie, I still managed to have a really great time with this one. And like I said, I could definitely tell that Cate Blanchett is definitely a shoo-in for that Best Actress award because she definitely deserves it here, guys, because again, she's just incredible in this movie. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my ACAF Soul review on Tar, and let me know what you think of this movie if you have seen this already, if you just recently checked out this film. Did you absolutely adore this film, or was this not really your cup of tea? And also, I'd like to be let know on what is your favorite Cate Blanchett movie? Like, what is your favorite performance by her? For me, it's really hard to pick, because she's been in so many great films. But anyway, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.